Welcome to Dollars and Cents with Freedman Financial, the home for financial advice in a language you can understand. Created by Marc Freedman of Freedman Financial, he and his team of certified financial planner professionals will discuss timely topics that help individuals and families make smart financial decisions. And now, get ready for this week's edition of Dollars and Cents with Freedman Financial.
Red light's on.
Okay. So we're not even using this?
There's really
okay. All right.
It's more
Turn
like
my chair
than anything else.
All right, you ready?
I'm ready. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
Welcome back to another edition of Dollars and Cents with Freedman Financial. My name is Marc Freedman.
And I'm Marion Gelman.
And we're here to provide you with some financial advice in a language you can understand. Well, here we are, the middle part of October.
Getting to be fall out there.
Yeah, Salem, Massachusetts is a little crazy around here, huh?
Oh, my goodness. And it's not far from our office. But I understand that it's busy beginning, first thing in the morning, even on weekdays. So people travel, I think, to come here and visit Salem during this October season.
It's funny, the witches were around in the 1600s.
Yeah.
And when we were growing up here, and you were in Saugus, I was in Peabody.
Yeah.
Going to Salem in October was, okay, go to Salem in October. It's just like going any other time. Yeah, the witches were there, but big deal.
No big deal, yeah.
Now, this town, this city has become an enormous tourist attraction.
And they make a fortune.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my goodness, the costs for parking go up astronomically. But it's interesting because all these streets where there's all these parking meters now, or places you have to pay to park, residents are excluded.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yes, there are many streets where it says, unless you're a resident.
Wow.
So it's amazing.
We are Peabody, where our office is located, is kind of the gateway to Salem. Salem is not one of the easiest cities to get to.
Not at all.
And when it's October or September time, the traffic can be insane. It can be an hour, 2 hours to go 3 miles, 4 miles.
Which is really, it's brutal some days.
But it's worth going to see as well. If you don't get down here in September or October, there's still plenty to see during the rest of the year in Salem.
Well, interestingly enough, we spend time in Salem. There are a lot of great restaurants here, so there's a lot to do there. But year-round, there are many ghost tours happening. So it's not uncommon to see ghost tours or just tours of the city going on at any point during the course of the year. Even in like February, March, when you would think, oh, there are no tours here now. It's not great weather in February, March here.
Yeah, anything that has to do with like the Salem Witch Trials, the Salem Witch Experience, that's a year-round event that happens in Salem.
Is, yeah.
It's Halloween that really attracts, I'll call them the crazies, because the costumes and the outfits and the characters that you'll see just walking the streets of Salem will just blow you away.
Well, now they have 2 events, nighttime events, that are really the big events. So one of them is the first Thursday in October, where all of the residents of Salem and kids and everybody, they all get dressed up.
Is that
and
the
there's
Horribles
a parade?
Parade?
Yes, exactly.
Horribles Parade.
It is quite the event. And the other one is, of course, Halloween night, which is just crazy. And when it's on a weekend, it is a mob scene there. And it's Friday this year, right? Isn't it?
It is. Well, it is. Well, interestingly, this past week here in the New England area, it has been unseasonably warm. So it's been in the 80s this week. And there are a lot of people that are in Salem, hordes of people in Salem, that have been complaining that it's too hot. Because a lot of these people, they get all these fancy costumes, and they're dying in their hot costumes.
But the interesting thing is, so October 31st in Salem, or here, we have the same weather as they do. It can be, it can be in the 60s and beautiful weather, or there have been times when it's in the 30s.
Yeah, and it snows
exactly.
here. So
never know.
It's been in the 80s up until Wednesday of this week, and then I think tomorrow, the day after, we're filming this on a Wednesday, the temperature's supposed to drop 30 degrees. So you're going to be back seasonably in the 40s and 50s in Salem, which will be much nicer. But anyways, we digress a bit. We are here to provide you with some financial advice in a language you can understand. And here's some financial advice. Take the T, take the train to Salem, or take the ferry to Salem. Don't drive to Salem.
Well, you know, interestingly enough, have you seen the statistics of how much people spend now on Halloween?
On candy
and decorations?
The
When I
decorations.
was a kid, you know, we bought a couple boxes of candy. That was it.
Yeah, well, the candy that they give out now for trick-or-treating,
Oh, my
it's
goodness.
a lot better.
Yes.
I mean, it's not more, you don't get the little Tootsie Roll minis, you know, or a thing of Smarties or a Dum Dum lollipop.
Right.
Now you're getting full-size candy bars. I mean, people are going all in.
Yeah.
So, you know, you don't want to be the family that gives the cruddy candy.
Ooh, no.
So, anyway, speaking of the
Financial advice.
the financial advice and the candy that people expect to receive when someone dies, this whole estate planning thing, and people are like, "What's in it for me?" Because look, we've watched movies and we've seen shows where they have the reading of the will in the fancy oak room and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, everybody goes to the lawyer's office,
it's
right?
it's really not that complicated. But because I think of all of these movies and all of the news and all of the stories and the books and the stuff that we read, we are finding more and more people of modest means are making their lives far, far more complicated than they need to.
And it's incredibly important that when you go visit with an attorney to do your estate planning documents, that you are clear in understanding what exactly each document means. I have seen people who go to an attorney and there's a miscommunication there between their wants and needs, how they express it, and what the attorney actually does for them. So there are some people who say, oh, well, you know, I want my house to be protected, and that house goes into an irrevocable trust, and then the client finds out, well, they can't really sell that house,
Right.
and have that money.
In some cases.
In some cases, exactly.
So, yeah, it's interesting. I mean, look, an attorney's job, an attorney is a fiduciary.
That's
Their
right.
job is to place your interests first. And in some cases, attorneys listen to what your needs are and what your wants are, and they execute on those needs and on those asks and those wants. Instead of saying, well, do you realize if you do this, here's the positive, here's the pros, here's the cons, here's the implications. And sometimes, whether it's the attorney or the client or whatever that just wants to get this done. I heard from my neighbor, or I heard from so-and-so that I need to put my house in a trust, or I need to do this, or and the attorney just does what you ask.
That's right.
Are they doing anything wrong? No, they're putting your interests first. They're listening to what you said. But I think what we do as certified financial planners, no, we do not. I almost said donut, but we do
You
not.
got food on the
Yeah, I
brain.
know. We don't write legal documents.
No.
However, we can explore questions with you to help you understand the implications of setting up certain types of estate planning documents. Now, you need estate planning. I don't care if you have $100 or $100 million. Everybody needs some type of estate planning. And estate planning doesn't necessarily start with a trust. That's what oftentimes people think, or even a will for that matter. I think it starts with a power of attorney.
Most definitely. And that is the one thing that I don't think most individuals think about enough. Remember, a power of attorney, or for those of you who don't know, a power of attorney exists for somebody to step in while you are alive and step in and take care of your financial affairs if you are incapacitated. Now, hopefully, that is a temporary situation for you being incapacitated. Thus, you're going to come back and go on with your life after you get better. So you want to be sure whoever you name as power of attorney makes decisions that are in your best interest. And I think that's critically important.
There's the power of attorney. There's the healthcare proxy, and perhaps you can explain.
Same thing. I mean, in healthcare matters, you want to name someone who is going to make the decision to, for your, and they're speaking for you health-wise. So if you want to be kept alive no matter what, that's what they're going to do. If you say, I don't want to be kept alive under these circumstances. If I can't live a certain type of life, then they will want to execute on those circumstances or those desires and wishes. You want to be sure you have somebody who's able to do that.
Yeah, that's willing to follow your instructions.
That's right.
And not have their own personal consciousness that says, I don't know if I can do this.
Right. And you know, we talk about that a lot because some people you pick won't be able to pull the plug.
Yeah, and the other instance is sometimes you write these documents and then 20 years goes by, and perhaps the person that was listed in that document years ago isn't necessarily the person that you'd want to make a decision now.
That's right. I mean, very frequently young people name their parents as the contingent power of attorney or even the power of attorney. And the parents might be 85 years old and you're not able to make a decision
Absolutely.
At a certain point. So you got to be careful.
But one of the things that we've been seeing with many clients or new clients that have come to the office is some have structured trusts with an attorney, and we read these trust documents and they are so darn complicated.
Right.
To try to accomplish some things that perhaps there was an easier way to do it with little cost. And you know, one of the other alternatives, Marion, of what people are doing is they're looking at senior living facilities.
Right, and I know a lot of people will say, oh, I don't want to go into a senior living facility. However, I think it's a great option for so many people because think about it, they are in their houses alone many times because their spouse has passed away, and so they're living in this big house all by themselves. And sure, they'll say, oh, well, we have great neighbors. You have great neighbors, but what if those neighbors move? And we actually have a situation just like that recently where, a client was living in her house, had a great neighbor that helped out when needed, and the neighbor's moving. So what do you do? And some of those senior living places have great options.
Yeah, and another client of ours, she was concerned. Her husband had passed away. They were living in a condo. She was in a condo facility where she had friends around, but she thought, well, I don't know if I can continue to afford to live here. My husband took care of a bunch of things.
Right.
Maybe I look at an apartment, but the other, or moving with the kids, or the other alternative was to look at the senior living facility. And one of the things that she liked of the senior living facility, more so than she did the apartment, was the fact that if you're in an apartment, a landlord can keep raising the rent. A landlord can sell the property. A landlord can ultimately kick you out.
Sure.
But if you go to these senior living facilities, you know you have a place to live for the rest of your life.
Right.
And there's lots to think about.
Yeah.
And not to mention all of the cleanup that's necessary to get out of your house, right?
Well, yes, and all of the maintenance. I mean, I couldn't live in my house without my husband. It's way too much for me to take care of on my own. I couldn't do that.
It's an effort. I mean, just even knowing.
And we don't need this space.
Yeah, no. There's a lot of things to consider, but it's all part of a bigger financial plan, and that's what we call financial advice in a language you can understand. So if now's the time for you to get serious about your financial planning or investment management needs, we hope you'll give us a call. 978-531-8108. That's 978-531-8108, or visit us on the web, freedmanfinancial.com. That's Freedman.
2 E's and a D.
Financial.com. Go to the bottom of any page. You can put in your name and your email address and sign up for our free weekly newsletter that lands in your inbox every Friday morning at 10:30. And of course, if you like these podcasts and you'd like to subscribe to see more of them, you can go to our YouTube site of Freedman Financial. You'll find all sorts of information there, or sign up on any of your favorite podcasting channels, and you can listen to us over and over and over again if you want. That's going to do it for us this week. Yeah, we'll see you again next week. Have a great day, everybody.
Enjoy.
During today's episode of Dollars and Cents with Freedman Financial, your host may have discussed specific financial planning and investment ideas that are for general information only and not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations. Please remember that investing involves risk and may include loss of principal. Always consult a certified financial planner professional, qualified attorney, or tax advisor prior to investing to determine what is appropriate for you. Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor, member FINRA, SIPC.